An asteroid the size of a football field is hurtling through space, and NASA says there's a real chance it could hit Earth in 2032. With a 2.3% impact probability, Asteroid 2024 YR4 has scientists watching closely. But how serious is this threat? What would an impact mean? And should preppers start making plans now? Welcome to Preppers News from Preppers Paradigm, your channel dedicated to practical prepping and disaster preparedness. Today, we're looking at the latest reports about Asteroid 2024 YR4, an object with a confirmed chance of striking Earth in December 2032. Unlike most space rocks that pass harmlessly by, this one has experts paying attention. Before we get started, I use a computer-generated voice because my own is hard to understand due to an injury. In this video, we'll break down what we know so far, what could happen if it hits, and why it matters to preppers. Asteroid 2024 YR4 was first discovered on December 27, 2024, by the Atlas telescope in Chile. Since then, astronomers have been tracking its path and calculating its potential risk to Earth. This asteroid measures between 130 and 300 feet in diameter, making it roughly the size of a football field. While that might not seem enormous compared to some of the asteroids that have passed Earth in the past, it's still large enough to cause serious damage if it were to make impact. What makes this asteroid stand out is that scientists have calculated a 2.3% chance of impact on December 22, 2032. That might not sound like much, but in space terms, it's enough to be taken seriously. Most asteroids monitored by NASA and other space agencies have probabilities in the millions or billions of a percent, so this is one of the highest impact risks they've seen in years. Right now, the asteroid is on NASA's Sentinel risk list, which tracks near-Earth objects that could pose a threat. Observatories around the world are gathering more data to refine its trajectory. The James Webb Space Telescope is also being used to collect detailed observations, which could help confirm whether the impact probability increases or decreases. If Asteroid 2024 YR4 were to collide with Earth, the effects would depend on where it hits and what it's made of. Right now, scientists have identified a broad impact zone that includes the Eastern Pacific, Northern South America, the Atlantic Ocean, Africa, the Arabian Sea, and parts of South Asia. That's a wide area, but as tracking data improves, scientists will be able to narrow it down. The size of the asteroid, between 130 and 300 feet in diameter, puts it in a category that could cause significant localized damage. If it were to strike land, it could create a blast equivalent to a nuclear explosion, leveling buildings and causing devastation within a 30-mile radius. If it hit the ocean, the impact could generate massive waves, though scientists say it's unlikely to trigger a full-scale tsunami. Composition matters too. If the asteroid is primarily metallic, it could stay intact longer and deliver a more forceful impact. If it's rocky or icy, it may break up in the atmosphere, reducing its destructive power but still causing an airburst explosion similar to the 2013 Chelyabinsk event in Russia. That explosion shattered thousands of windows and injured over 1,600 people, even though the asteroid never actually hit the ground. At this stage, the worst-case scenario isn't global catastrophe, but a regional disaster. However, any impact event could disrupt supply chains, communications, and infrastructure, which are all concerns for preppers. With Asteroid 2024 YR4 now on NASA's Sentinel risk list, it's under continuous observation by multiple space agencies, including NASA, ESA, and independent observatories worldwide. The goal is to refine its projected path and determine whether the 2.3% impact probability increases or decreases as more data comes in. One of the key tools being used is the James Webb Space Telescope, which is gathering high-resolution images to analyze the asteroid's exact size, shape, and composition. This information will help scientists predict whether the asteroid will break up in the atmosphere or strike the surface intact. If future calculations confirm a high probability of impact, the next step could involve planetary defense measures. The most well-known method is an asteroid deflection mission, similar to NASA's DART, Double Asteroid Redirection Test, which successfully altered the orbit of a test asteroid in 2022. In theory, a spacecraft could be sent to push the asteroid off course using kinetic impact, gravity tugs, or even explosive charges. However, timing is critical. If action isn't taken years in advance, the chances of successfully altering its trajectory shrink significantly. While NASA and other agencies are monitoring YR4 closely, no deflection mission has been announced yet, meaning the risk, however small, remains. For most people, the idea of an asteroid impact sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. But for preppers, the real question is, how would an event like this affect daily life, even if it didn't hit near you? First, supply chain disruptions are a major concern. If asteroid 2024 YR4 were to strike land, it could devastate key infrastructure in the affected region. Even an ocean impact could cause shipping delays and economic instability, especially if major ports or trade routes are affected. This could lead to shortages of food, fuel, and essential goods, similar to what we've seen with past global crises. Second, there's the economic fallout. Even before impact, fear and uncertainty could lead to market instability, much like we've seen with past disaster scares. If the asteroid were confirmed to be on a collision course, governments might impose restrictions, triggering panic buying and inflation. That means the best time to be stocked up is before the masses react. Third, there's always the chance of government response measures. And as we know, these don't always play out in ways that benefit individuals. Depending on the projected impact location, there could be forced evacuations, martial law, or disruptions to internet and communications. While a regional event is unlikely to cause widespread lawlessness, any period of confusion could increase crime and social instability, as seen in past disasters. The takeaway here is that while the odds of impact remain low, the possibility exists, and so do the secondary effects. Preppers should take note of how global supply chains, financial systems, and government actions respond to major threats, because whether or not this asteroid hits, similar disruptions can happen in many crisis scenarios. Right now, asteroid 2024 YR4 is being closely monitored, and while a 2.3% chance of impact is higher than usual for near-Earth objects, it still means there's a 97.7% chance it won't hit. Over the next few years, astronomers will refine its trajectory, and the risk could decrease, or, if new data confirms a direct path, we could see serious discussions about deflection missions. For preppers, the real takeaway isn't just about this asteroid. It's about how major global threats are handled. Even if YR4 never touches Earth, the economic, political, and logistical responses to potential disasters are worth paying attention to. We've seen before how fear of catastrophe, whether from pandemics, conflicts, or natural disasters, can trigger panic buying, government restrictions, and supply chain breakdowns. The best approach is to stay informed, but not alarmed. Keep an eye on updates from NASA, the ESA, and independent observatories, but don't let sensationalist headlines drive your decision-making. As always, solid preparedness isn't about reacting to one specific event. It's about being ready for any disruption, whether it's an asteroid, an economic crash, or another crisis entirely. What do you think? Should preppers be concerned about asteroid 2024 YR4, or is this just another false alarm? Let me know in the comments. If you found this information useful, please like the video and subscribe to Preppers News. For useful prepping guides, check out our other channel, Preppers Paradigm. Thanks for watching Preppers News. We'll see you in the next one.